Today we're going to talk about resilience. I had a thought the other day that it was actually about John Wick. I like John Wick. I like all the films. And it was just, when you're watching these movies, it's kind of absurd, right? You can't, like, a human being can't do that. A human being can't do that. It's like Wile E. Coyote. He's falling off buildings. He's getting hit by multiple cars at the same time, And so I thought it was, it's good fun, right? But then I heard someone on some podcast somewhere said that it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for the human spirit. And I took that to heart. You know why? Because I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. We're survivors. And that's one of the main lessons I learned. And I might have even spoken about this in the previous video, but I'll speak about it again because I think it's so important. You have to keep going. And for those of you out there, my tribe, that are going through their midlife, they're maybe a little bit too intelligent for their own good. They're in their own heads too much. They work really hard, or they're very caring. There's this imbalance that happens in our lives. In our 20s and our 30s, we walk the path. We set ourselves up on the track, right? And we go and we do what we're told, and we're the best we can be, right? That's how I'm built. I'm the best I can be. I'm going to be the best blank, right? Son, father, uncle, brother, coworker, writer, coach, whatever. It's got to be the best, right? I want to put all myself into it out there. And then we get to a point, and you know what? It can happen later. It can happen in our 50s. It can happen in our 60s. It can happen in our 70s. It can happen in our 30s. I've talked to men, so many men, at my job, at my work, in the area, at everywhere. And this has come up over and over. And maybe I'm minimizing it. Maybe I'm making it too small in midlife. So maybe now I'm expanding it a bit in this talk. But I think there comes a point in each man's life where we sit down and we really feel, because that's something that we have to work on, that connection to our body, that embodiment and feel. We really feel like we can't do this anymore. We cannot do this anymore. Something's got to give, or I've got to change something, or something's got to happen. And we react to it in different ways. But that's the beginning. That's the beginning of the midlife transition. That's the beginning of a transition. And somewhere inside of us speaks to us. Maybe it's a creative voice. Maybe it's a spiritual voice. Maybe it's something that we left by the wayside. Maybe it's something that we purposely pushed down. My own journey deals with embodiment, getting back to the body, listening to the body, emotions. That's huge work for me. And I really started working on it because for so long I was in my head about it. I need to do this and I'll do that. And I started moving stuff outside of my mind, outside in my world, instead of actually sitting quiet, feeling. And I bring up John Wick because that's how I feel, not only myself, but every man can be. That's our spirit animal in this part of our lives. John Wick. Watch a John Wick movie if you've never seen it before. I like them all. I like 2 the best, I think. But there's just there's no snarky catchphrase. He's determined. This is what he'll do. And it's a revenge story, but it centers around his love for his wife, his deceased wife, and what she represents, and why he left that world and now he's returning to it. And so think what you will in place of John Wick. For me, it's John Wick. It's this character, this hero inside of us, this archetype that will not quit. That's what I want you to conjure in these tough spots, because a lesson I've learned is don't quit. Don't quit. And you hear it all the time, you know. And if you're not feeling it right now, I get it. Like, no, you say that all the time. Or everybody says all these, don't quit, don't quit. What if I do quit? Well, then quit. But you're eventually not going to quit, because there's something inside of you, that spirit, that soul, that inner voice, that inner creativity that will not go away and won't stop bugging you. And it's something that Carl Jung, the psychoanalyst, Carl Jung, all these different psychologists and philosophers and priests and holy men, and they can't figure out why, but there's something inside of us that pushes us to be more whole, that pushes us to be more alive, you know? And we're facing right now a really dangerous lifestyle of robotic, artificial, algorithmic, routine, it's just the same thing over and over again. And what you have to lock into is presence, human, what's human, right? And so, again, getting back to John Wick, what it represents to me is the human element of resilience. Resilience in conflict, a forbearance. That at your best times, of course you can do your best. But when you're at your worst, and when you're going through something so hard and frustrating, it takes a hero. It takes someone that is doing the work already to sit there and go, okay, what's going on with me? Because we're so used to projecting it outward. That's how we're conditioned. We're dealing with everyone's projections. They're triggered in some way, right? There's something, there's a sound, there's a phrase that was made. You start arguing, you get into these locked in modes. We're unconscious at that moment. We're in our body, in our hurt body, in our traumas, in our hurt, and our wounds. And so when you can make more space, create more space within that, if you can work on that, in that space, that's a huge step. And to keep on doing that, that's the thing. You know, Harlan Ellison, the novelist Harlan Ellison once said, it's not about publishing, it's about constantly publishing. It's about consistency that makes you a writer. It's that constant, I got through it, I can do it again. And we can look at our past. We can look at our past and give us strength. You know, I got through that heartache. I got through that operation. I got through that divorce. Or I got through that really tough time in my life where I wasn't even conscious. Take a step forward. That's another lesson you could do, is take a moment and look at your past conflicts. Look at your past instances. You look at like high school when you thought like, this sucks. I hate this. I hate being trapped like this. You got through it. College, there's a moment where you didn't know if you'd graduate, or like you have bills you have to pay. I got through it. You know, here I am. I'm safe. I'm well. Right here, I'm safe and okay right now. I don't know about the next day, and then maybe the day after that, I probably will be okay. But let me get out of my head. Let me sit in this presence. That's what I have to do. And so no matter how many times that car is going to hit you, get up. No matter how many times that guy's punched you or hit you with this giant chainmail thing, or like no matter how many guys come at you, just like John Wick, slow down, block it, punch, shoot. Now it's a very violent, movie too. So you can use your different examples if you want, but look all throughout history. Look at our heroes. Look at look at Odysseus in the Odyssey, Look at Alyosha from Dostoevsky's Brothers Karamazov. Look at like the characters throughout like film and books and art. Look at the artists. Look at the creatives. Look at the people that have gotten through some nasty, nasty stuff. And it's just a footnote. You're living a footnote right now. When you look into the future, 10, 20, 15, 20, 30 years, and you look back and go, yeah, that sucked, but I got through it. Here I am, you know? Forbearance. That's what I wanted to talk about today. That's the lesson I wanted to talk about today. I'm still here, right? No matter what crazy, insane stuff is going on right now in the world, in your own heart, in your own mind, you feel caged, you're in a loop and you can't get out. Get me out of this mind. Get me out of this mind. That's a bad spot to be in. You'll get through it. And I have complete faith that you will. I'm not BSing you. I believe that everybody has this capacity. There's this human element. There's this last little bit of strength within you to just get through this. And you can. Baby steps. Little by little, you can. Show up in the way that you can. What is enough? Getting out of bed sometimes is enough, right? Sending that email that says, hey, how are you doing? Sometimes that's enough, right? You don't have to be a hero in the big word of it. Don't be a big word hero. Just be you, you know? But no matter how many times life hits you, and life's going to hit you, and I'll do this in another video, but there's this healthy suffering that we have to go through. That fire that burns away all the unnecessary, unskillful, weaker elements of ourselves, that forges us. Because I'm telling you, and I'll sum it up right here. I'm telling you, there's nothing stronger than a man that's been through hell and back. There's nothing stronger. There's nothing healthier. There's nothing more powerful than a man that has dealt with his own demons, that has dealt with his own shadow, that has looked at his unconscious, that through all the pain and suffering and crazy chaotic noise in this world has sat down and just sat with it and be with it and don't judge it. And this is part of me, just like that part is me and that part is me. That is what this whole thing is about. All right? You're going to be okay. This makes you stronger. This makes you more passionate. This makes you more alive and whole. And not only this, but it makes you more compassionate to yourself and others. We're all going through something. Brother, we're all going through something, man. Every single day we're going through something. You're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Get up. Get up. Get up. Even if you fall right back down, get up, man. If you got to crawl on your elbows across the street, rest when you get across the street. Do it in your own way. Your own way. And you can do it because it's inside of you. Anyway, that's what I wanted to get off my chest today. That's what I wanted to really instill in you, that we all, every single one of us on this earth, have this ability to get through the shit. And there will be shit to get through. You can do it. And if this resonates with you, please, there's a link in the description below. Check out my link on meeting, on Zoom and talking one-on-one. I do a free 30-minute session. Let's see if we vibe. If this connects with you, please take care. Be safe.